Just a close-up shows you that it's cleaning its antenna off, using its front legs. And you see here some are fed nymphs, some are empty, some are just sitting around. You know, that's part of their life is sitting, most of their life is just sitting around actually. Now this, when I feed them, this is a jar, I'll show that later. When I take the cover off, you see there's a whole mass of bed bugs here. Because a few hundred just fed on my arm, and they're on the inside part of the jar cover, which is a fine screen mesh, and they don't fit through it, just the mouth parts go through. But you can take a spoon, and it's almost like a shark feeding frenzy. They stay here, and you can roll them around, and they don't dissipate. You give them about 10 minutes, and they finally start crawling off. Here's a close-up of a bed bug egg with the cover off. When you see a cover on, you know it's a not hatched yet bed bug. You see here dark droppings, you see light droppings. Most people think of bed bugs having reddish brown or black droppings, but that's only the blood is digested. The pale colored ones, and I have later shots of that, that's actually uric acid deposition, that's their nitrogenous waste, or excretory system waste. Bed bug laying the egg on the left, and this one's hatching out here. When they actually gulp air to be able to push themselves out of their eggs. And here's a close-up shot of one egg, and you see the glue that's left on. Because when a female lays the egg, it's sticky. So that's one big problem with bed bugs. The small sizes people usually don't think about with bed bugs, and the eggs. Because if a female lays eggs where she's hiding, that may be, or usually is not able to be gotten to by a pesticide or maybe by heat treatments. So that's the reason for doing a treatment after, let's say 2 weeks, when the egg should have hatched in this part of the country, and you'd have nymphs crawling about. And you'll also notice the eye of the bed bug here, and the cover is still on. It pops open when the bed bug comes out. And here's little plastic boxes I have bed bugs in, because people, usually are told that bed bugs stay in groups and clusters. But even in this, like 1.5 by 1 inch box, why do these bed bugs segregate in the air? Some are on this side, some are on that side. This is a 1/4 inch square, and these are the droppings from the bed bugs. So this is what you're actually supposed to look for if you're searching for bed bug infestations. So that's where canine comes in handy, because they don't have to look, they're going by odor. And you'll notice this is taken a day later. Now some of them moved around, but they don't have to stay together. And that may actually be a reason for populations expanding, because they just don't stay together all the time. And here on the 1/4 inch squares, you can see the first instar bed bugs. And the red ones are the ones that I just fed, so you see a difference in size and coloration. And here's a female bed bug I kept in that box with a male. Although they already made it, he didn't have to stay there, but he had nowhere else to go. And you see the first thing she voided was the uric acid, and you see she laid an egg. And this bed bug stayed in this box. There were no conjugal visits, he just came over. And you see, she also avoided the feces, the dark feces there too. And she laid some more eggs. So over a week's time, she only laid a few eggs. That's sort of normal. And she didn't really go from where she was staying. She stayed in that box. Now, that could have been a bed bug inside a pocketbook or a bag or a backpack. And you carry that around, the bed bug doesn't really run off. It stays in there if she laid eggs. The eggs didn't hatch yet. And when the eggs finally hatch, like in this shot, see more eggs there. In this shot, you see the first one's hatched. This one hatched about an hour before, so now it's a little darker in color. And they start hunting around and looking for a host, because they have to get blood meal. So you might have bugs with you if you're traveling. They're not going anywhere. Maybe after they digested the food from before, or maybe if the eggs are laid, the nymphs hatch, then they start searching. So you may come back from a trip and not have any bites, but then maybe a week later you start getting bites. Now, if you look at adult bed bugs, Most bed bugs, of course, are reddish-brown, people say, and about a 1/4 inch long. Well, this insect's about a 1/4 inch long, but it's really not reddish-brown at all. Because this is a freshly molted adult bed bug, and you see the blood in it in the previous 5th instar stage, but you see its body's sort of a white, waxy color. This one's about an hour or so older, and it never got rid of its shed skin. So you see it's getting darker already. So if you find an insect like this, yes, it's a bed bug, it just doesn't match the color you're supposed to think bed bugs are. And a side view of that. This is just, this section here is part of the shed skin, not part of the body. And here's a bed bug that's male. This is a flattened one just resting on the surface. But this one was alerted to either someone walking by. He got a whiff of carbon dioxide. He's thin. He's hungry. So he stood up, was very alert, antenna out. Sometimes they'll even stick their proboscis out forward. And if you hold the boxes I'll pass around, the fingers are warm enough to get them to try to feed on you through the plastic. And you'll see them trying to poke through. Now here is a glue board from an apartment. The bed bug found was this nymph right over here.